Hey everyone, today I'm coming to the review on the brand new Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Cosmo Build-A-Figure Waves Rocket Racoon. Now I did get this guy at Toys R Us Canada, paid around $36.99, which is very steep for what you are getting here. He does come with the biggest Build-A-Figure piece for the Cosmo Build-A-Figure, but even that doesn't justify the price of this guy in my opinion, and I will get into that later. But as for now, let's get into the review for the brand new Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Rocket Racoon. Now, as per usual, I do want to start off with the packaging for this guy. He is in the standard Marvel Legends plastic-free packaging design. On the front, we have a rendered image of the figure. Behind that, we have a concept art image of the character. Up top, Marvel's rocket. Down below, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 logo, Hasbro logo, plastic-free packaging logo. And what really interests me and kind of concerns me, probably does neither for any of you, is that there is no choking hazard for this figure. All the other figures have it, and Mantis has it, and she doesn't come with any accessories. This guy, sure, the gun is big enough to not be a choking hazard, but the head comes off, the tail comes off, and the hands come off. I guess we're just collectively allowed to choke on this guy. But anyways, on the side, we have another concept art image of the character being Rocket with his arms crossed, looking so badass amongst the Cosmos, along with the brand new Guardian ship. Marvel Legends logo down below. On the back, we have another rendered image of the figure, which I kind of like that pose more than the one that is on the front, but that is neither here nor there, along with the Build-A-Figure piece that he's included with. That is definitely an interesting shot. Marvel's Rocket, Marvel Legends, bunch of legalese. On this side, we have the Cosmo Build-A-Figure, along with all the other figures you need to build him. I do have reviews for the Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, and Nebula out now. The other three here, or the other two rather, will be coming out very soon, along with the Cosmo and the Groot. But other than that, we do have the Guardians logo up top, Marvel Legends series logo there, Build-A-Figure Cosmo, and that is all that is going on with the packaging. So let's get on to the Rocket figure himself. Now, as for the Rocket Racoon figure himself, he is only included with one accessory, being his massive gun. Now, this is sadly the same exact gun that we have gotten all the way back in 2014, so it's almost been a decade since we did get this gun with the first release of Rocket Racoon. I don't know why they can't just make new guns and new accessories in general for new figures. It is kind of crazy, especially with the prices going up. But that being said, I guess this gun works well enough for this figure, and we'll have to see if it is perfect in the movie, because probably he will have a brand new gun. But if he does have this one, I guess it does make sense that they are reusing it. But anyways, not a lot to go over here. It is just molded in that black color. It's very interesting how you do attach it to the rocket. You kind of have to hook it right here like so, if I can do it on camera. And then from there, you do put the trigger into the trigger finger, just like so. And that looks interesting to say the least, but it is definitely hard to get him holding it with both hands. Now, starting off with the head sculpt for this Rocket Racoon, I really don't like what we have going on here. It is probably my biggest gripe with this guy overall, and that is, if you look at it, I don't know if it'll capture on camera, but the way they applied this paint here, it's very pixely here. I'll try to zoom in here. I don't know if it'll capture, but there you can kind of see what it looks like in person. Even from afar, you can see it, and it just does not look that good, and certainly does not look realistic, even though it is, you know, an action figure, or even the cursed word, a toy, which we're not going to call it, but you get what I mean. It just does not look good, at least to me. And also, with the previous Rocket Racoon in the Mantis Build-A-Figure wave, we got so many accessories. We got Baby Groot, we got an extra head, I believe. We just got a lot of things, and we also did get the Build-A-Figure piece, so I don't know why we don't get an extra head or something, or some more accessories. That is also another huge gripe of this figure for me. But as for the rest of the torso on this rocket, there isn't that much more to talk about. He does have two dots right there, which I believe are painted, like with a little bit of silver or something. That also could just be my eyes deceiving me, but if that is the case, credit to Hasbro for doing that. On the back, we don't have that much to talk about. On the arms, you do have the same design, of course, with those ridges, which does look really good, especially on this small figure. And what I love about this guy is he does have gloved hands. All the other Rockets did have hands that were open, and that was perfectly fine, but I just really love seeing Rocket in fully clothed costume, especially with the boots. I love the boots that we have going on there. Such tiny little feet for this guy, but they definitely do the job well. For the rest of the legs, there isn't that much going on. Of course, you do have the same ridges that are, of course, on the arms as well that I just mentioned. The boots do look good. The tail here, it looks great as well. You do have, do you? No, you don't. You don't have that same pixely applied paint that is on the head sculpt that you do have on this tail. It just looks like it is paint. I wish they would have done this here, but whatever. I guess it does work nonetheless. This is using the same style of movement that the other Rocket Racoon tails had, so that is definitely interesting. But other than that, there isn't that much more to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into the articulation for the Rocket Racoon figure himself. Now, as for the articulation on this rocket, it is pretty good for the size that he is. The head does go back that much, which is kind of nothing at all. Forward a little bit of tilt, which is probably the most movement you do have on the head, as if you look, you don't have the greatest ball joint for the head to be on. Anyways, the arms go up that much, down, full 360. This shoulder pad thing kind of gets in the way, as I mentioned. And then on the elbows, they do go in about 90 degrees, a little bit of rotation. The hands do go up, down, that much full 360 on a horizontal hinge. This side, though, however, is a vertical hinge, which is very nice for a figure that is this small. And this is why, in my opinion, this guy has the most superior articulation of all the rockets that have been released, because the other rocket, as you can see here, only had the ability to move his wrist like so. No horizontal hinge or vertical hinge at all in sight. Ab crunch goes forward that much, back a lot, which is very good for a figure of the size. Side. Overall, there's your articulation for rocket, which honestly, all things considered, isn't terrible. I do wish, though, the head articulation would have been a little bit better. Full 360 though, legs forward that much, back, let's see how we do this, back that much, splits that much, upper thigh cut, single jointed knees that also do have rotation, and the ankles do go up that much, down, and beautiful ankle rocker pivot. And then for the articulation on the tail, it does go up, down, and full 360, of course, although it does pop out pretty easily. Here we have Rocket next to all the other figures in this wave that do have the same costume design, being Star-Lord, Mantis, Nebula, and Drax. And as you can see, even though you might have some gripes with these figures, you can't deny that they all look really good together, at least in my opinion. Here we have Rocket next to the Cosmo Build-A-Figure, along with the baby Rocket that is included with the deluxe Groot figure. Here we have the Volume 3 Rocket next to the Volume 1 Rocket, along with the Infinity War 3-pack Rocket. Here we have the Rocket next to a couple of Groot figures, more specifically the Volume 3 Deluxe Groot, along with the Teenage Groot from the Love and Thunder wave. Here we have Rocket next to Kraglin, as well as Adam Warlock. Both are from the same wave. Now, lastly, for comparisons with this Volume 3 Rocket, here we have the comic 5-pack Rocket, along with the Fantastic Four retro carded High Evolutionary, and the baby Rocket once again, because I can't get enough of that thing. But for my final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Rocket figure, I think he's pretty good. He's okay. There really isn't that much special going on here. If I was to envision what a Volume 3 Rocket figure in the Marvel Legends line would have looked like a year or two ago, I probably would have pictured this exact same thing, which necessarily isn't a bad thing. I just think I should be shocked and excited with what I see here, and in my opinion, at least from what I see, I don't have that feeling, especially with us getting a gun that is almost 10 years old, along with the head sculpt having really weird applied paint. I just don't think this is the best they could have done with a Rocket. It certainly is the best Rocket Marvel Legends figure that we've gotten, at least in my opinion, and as far as that goes, it is good, but for the price that you are paying, you definitely have to factor that in. I don't think I can justify this guy. If you can get him for a discount, along with all the other figures in this wave, I would recommend him, but other than that, I would probably just stay away from this guy. But that is all that I have to say about that. As always, let me know what you think of this guy in the comments down below. Are you going to pick him up? Are you not? Do you like him? Do you not? As always, start a conversation and I will try my best to respond. But until my next video, I have been Jagger Collector, he has been Rocket Raccoon, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.